Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, wherever you are in the world when you're watching? A huge hello and a shout out to you. Thank you to those that have donated to the channel. Thank you to those that have left comments. And generally, thank you for your kind support. I'm very grateful for it. All right, so this video is going to look at the next couple of weeks. First of all, we'll take a look at the energies that we're sitting in today, this evening, wherever you are when you're watching this. Then we'll move to the next 2 weeks for Trump and the next 2 weeks for Biden. And then following this video in the next few days, I want to look at some of the astrology that's coming up, particularly November the 18th, where we have a stellium of those big planets, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, in that 6th house. So we'll look at, they're all sitting in Capricorn, by the way, as well. So we'll take a look at what might occur there. I have to say that, you know, we all knew that that Trump was not going to concede. We all knew he was going to try and burn the house down behind him. And everything that I've seen so far indicates that's exactly what he's doing. The latest news is that he is wanting to withdraw. He's making moves. Of course, he got rid of Mike Espy, the defence head, and has installed one of his loyalists. We now learn that he wants to, or is making moves to pull out the troops from, or half the troops from Afghanistan. He's looking at pulling out American troops in the Middle East. And he also wanted to wage a war with Iran to make it more difficult for Biden to renegotiate an anti-nuclear treaty with Iran. We know that he doesn't really care about what is occurring in the US and the world, even in relation to COVID and getting everybody ready to roll out a vaccine. And we know that he's holding back the transition. We know that his legal suits are amounting to nothing. It's just a smokescreen. And we know that on December the 14th, the Electoral College will bring forward those votes, and Biden will most definitely, without a doubt, transition should proceed very quickly once that occurs. So what's all this about? What's all this about? Well, we know that he would probably be trying to hide a trail of any wrongdoing in these closing weeks of his presidency. My feeling is that this is about also setting up income sources for him via the Republican fundraising machine to pay off his debts. We already know that, to perhaps keep his finger in the pie in relation to controlling the Republican Party. But I also think it's something more. I think that with Trump, there were actual milestones set in place with Russia, and he is fulfilling those. Russia and other allies, Saudi Arabia, he's doing last-minute deals with American security and with the taxpayers' money. That's very clear to me, and also being very vindictive on his way out. So we'll look at him in the next couple of weeks. Imagine if he had been successful. Your Defense Department pulled back on that. The military pulled back on starting a war with Iran. Imagine what would have happened if that had occurred. All right, so, you know, doesn't care about anything. This is all about him. Doesn't care who he hurts, but we all know that, don't we? And he's going. But these final weeks are very, very difficult for everybody. Very difficult for everybody. Let's see what the energies are with I'm going to pull from the Connolly Tarot, mainly because it's quite soft, and so, you know, I want to see what's coming forward here, because I do know that universe has our back, because, you know, Trump lost the election as we predicted. All right, so show me the energies, please. The energies of this time, Spirit. Show me the energies of this time. The energies of this time. Show me the energies, please. The energies of this time. Yeah, there's a lot more receding than what we know. We tend to be quite worried, but there is a lot of negative energy being released, and I mean released, shed, released. So I have the Empress card. This isn't, of course, in relation to Trump, but this is about considering our abundance. The new moon in Scorpio really challenged us to think about self-love, and that's what I've been doing here. I've been taking some downtime and really focusing in on my own health and well-being. So abundance, where we are asked to consider what are the seeds that we are planting. The Page of Pentacles, this is a new start. The page is somebody that moves forward, and she carries with him or her that Ace of Pentacles. So we're planting seeds for a new start. And this is at the collective level and at the individual level. Now we have the Eight of Wands, things coming through very, very quickly, almost things falling from the sky. This is inspiration. The Eight of Wands is all about what inspires us. For each of those wands, we are learning a truth that we need to address and we need to move on from. Learn the lesson and move on. And we have the World card here. There are definitely endings and beginnings occurring now. The endings of cycles and the beginnings of new cycles. And of course we have that huge mega transit of Jupiter and Saturn into Aquarius later on this year. The World card. Things are changing. Ending old cycles, but it appears from these cards that things are really hitting us quite quickly, and we don't know. It's like meteors coming out of the sky, news headlines. We don't know what to believe. We don't know, is this actually a new start? Is this really the end of an era and the start of something else? The Two of Wands, thank you, Spirit. That's a message to be patient. To be patient, 2 more months, and things will start to change, which brings us up to January. The Ten of Wands, yeah, we are doing it hard, trying to materialize that ace. We are tired. We are, again, the ending of a cycle. So I have the Four of Swords underneath the Eight of Wands. A lot of people have been retreating from, negativity, negative news streams. I guess the fear mongering around Trump. People are moving back there. They're wanting to slow things down. And I did get a really strong message that this is all about slowing things down and really just tackling one thing at a time, not getting too far ahead of ourselves, not giving in to the fear. This is definitely the Three of Wands. This is definitely cycles ending, old cycles ending and new cycles beginning. We're just standing on that shore waiting for that new ship to come in. We are being counseled to be patient, to go within, to step back. This is all about self-care, retreating from those negative headlines and just considering our self-care, because we have huge monumental issues in front of us. The Ace of Wands signals to us that there is something new occurring. It's occurring now, even though we can't see it. It is occurring. The Nine of Cups talks about breakthroughs, miracles, and the Three of Cups, there is cause for celebration. Again, the Page of Cups, like the Page of Pentacles, has the Ace of Cups on offer. So if I had to sum up what is the energies that we're sitting in here, these energies. We are waiting for that new start, and so while we wait, while we're patient, it's all about self-care. That's what that new moon in Scorpio brought forward. The ability to nurture ourselves, to love ourselves, to do right by ourselves. And we know when we're not doing right by ourselves, don't we? So we're really being encouraged to step back, not step in, to step back at the moment, and be gentle with ourselves. All right, so let's have a look at the next 2 weeks. Am I worried about Trump starting a world war? I think that opportunity has come and gone. I think this is exactly what he intended when he removed the Department of Defense head and installed someone else. But the military pushed back. You remember General Milley's very, very targeted speech to Trump that the military isn't his to do with what he wants. So you have cooler heads prevailing. This is a lame duck president. His power will, even though it doesn't seem like it, his power will be reduced. I feel he's been thwarted at every step, but I do feel he is covering up, and I do feel he's trying to fulfill certain promises he made, and I do believe it is to Russia and Saudi Arabia. All right, so, and possibly even to Israel as well. United Arab Emirates, the usual players, Turkey. All right, let's have a look at Trump over the next 2 weeks. If I look at my calendar, we are sitting, so it'll be week beginning this week now that we're sitting in, week beginning the 16th, 17th, wherever you are in the world when you're watching. And we'll look at the 23rd. So week beginning the 16th and week beginning the 23rd, week beginning the 16th and the 23rd, please, Spirit, for Donald Trump. So we'll take, we'll do a Celtic cross. Show me what is he planning over the next 2 weeks? What is Trump planning over the next 2 weeks? So I'm using my Golden Tarot now for Trump. What is Trump planning? What is Trump planning over the next 2 weeks? So I feel there's some executive orders coming up. I feel what the images that I got were people actually telling him, they had their hands on the table, trying to make points, telling him what he could and couldn't do still. And I see him watching a lot of news, a lot of TV, but also really digging in and saying, I'm going to do things by executive orders, by even bypassing the Senate. So again, burning the house down before he goes. Money and vindictiveness sums it up quite well. What is Trump doing over the next 2 weeks? Yeah, it's an executive order. So the 10 of coins, this of course is his business. There's something here around his business. There was talk about him pardoning not only himself, his children, but also somehow trying to pardon his business. That won't work for New York State, though, will it? But his mind is on the Trump organisation. The Trump organisation. What's challenging him? The 2 of Cups. Okay. So here I feel whoever guaranteed his debt at Deutsche Bank, this is where I feel this is connected to. It's about a contract and a commitment. The 10 of Coins talks about business. It talks about sometimes dark money in politics, but it is my card for the Trump organisation. And we have, the challenge here is some kind of contract that he has with somebody. That's the way I'm reading it. The 2 of Cups can talk about relationships, networks. It is challenging the 10 of Coins. Okay. I do feel he is still very much feeling the loss of the election. Yeah, the 10 of Wands. So he's finding it difficult, which is what I felt. I feel that even those people that are advising him are not, when he comes out with something outlandish, and we'll probably hear about it once he's gone, you are still getting people pushing back. I'm feeling, he's head of National Security Council, is it? Or the National Security Agency, O'Brien, he is one of Trump's picks, did come out today and say we will help and cooperate with Biden. So he's up against people wanting to flee and worried about breaking the law with the new president coming in and him still throwing his weight around. And that's what's making it hard, mixed in with that feeling of loss. In the past, we have temperance. It's already happening. The healing is already happening. And this was picking up on some of those energies. The past is December. I feel he will keep going like this until the Electoral College ratifies those votes. He's playing whatever hand he's got. In the sky, he wants control. In fact, this looks a bit like him. He still wants control. That's what he wants. He wants to keep the presidency. But it is a fool's errand. Because the Five of Cups in the immediate future shows, I'm glad I used this deck for Trump, it's quite illustrative, shows where he's at. That Five of Cups energy. Spilt milk, he lost. He's no longer the emperor. It's not feasible for him to continue to do what he's doing. This shows me he loses something. Even though he might be trying something that is very precarious, he loses. He's losing that battle. Right now, the Five of Swords tells me he's abusing his power. You know, what did Homer Simpson used to say? Duh. As I used to say when we were a kid, tell us something that we don't know. There is a constant stream of abuse of power going on right now. The Page of Swords in the environment around this talks about, this page also holds the Ace of Truth, the Ace of Swords, I should say. I think Obama described Trump as a truth decay. This also talks about the spy in the camp. And this is, there are a number of meanings for the page, but I'm intuiting, I'm going where my intuition is leading me. I feel that, he has certain, he's paying down certain commitments. That's what I feel in this time. And he's setting himself up for the future. But you know what? You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a lot of air energy, which is, we're moving into Aquarius, that age of Aquarius, for want of a better phrase. But where the focus is on truth. We've got this at the end of November. We have a partial eclipse, is it, in Gemini. So we're, on one hand, we've got the unreality that he's trying to peddle, but on the other, we've got the reality that is coming through. And this is what is sinking, as in SYNC-ing, sinking into our psychic, our psyches, I should say. It's the truth. And this is what he can't control. So he's losing his ability to control the headlines. The Queen of Cups in the hopes and fears. This is usually somebody that has, a female that has information, a revelation to be brought through. But I do feel this is for his children. I feel that this is, he's worried. He's worried about his daughter, I feel. In amongst all of this, he's worried. Yeah, Eight of Wands, things moving very, very quickly came up in that energy read before. He wants to do a lot before he goes. He wants to do it quickly before his power goes. The Seven of Coins. This is a downturn. This is the plans. This is what it's clarified by. The loss of income, the loss of money, setting things up, his plans being thwarted. It's not going as he wanted it to go. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune, things shifting for him. As much as it can turn one way, that Wheel of Fortune, that karma, is turning another way for Trump. So what this is telling me is that some of his plans will not come to fruition. I see loss. I see overwhelming loss. 9 of Wands at the base of the pack. This is somebody who wasn't victorious, clarified by the 6 of Wands and the High Priestess. There's something around the voting, 10 of Cups. There's something around the voting that's going to come forward, some anomalies that will come forward in the future. I'll just leave that there. This is Trump in the next 2 weeks. So I feel he's going to try and bring forward as much as he can. It's all part of deals with donors, with business people, with debtors, with allies, with foreign, his shadow foreign policy that he's been running. It's all about that, and it's got a good mix of vindictiveness and trying to cause as much trouble for Biden as he can. Now, what I'm seeing in that spread is just loss. He just cannot recover from that loss. And I feel that he is not going to be successful in a lot of what he wants to do. Now, that's interesting. Now, people have asked me, do I still see him resigning? I do. Once all of that is done and he can take it no further, I do feel he will resign, and Pence will pardon him, or he's asking Pence to pardon him and his family. I think he's trying to include his business in it, but that's not going to come to fruition. Will Pence even pardon him? That's an interesting question. Let's go back to this deck because that's Biden's deck. All right, quickly. Let's just get an idea. I just want an impression, Spirit. Will Mike Pence be asked to pardon Trump? Will Trump ask Pence to pardon him? Will Trump ask Pence to pardon him? The 2 of Wands. Okay, so there is a plan that comes to fruition in time. It's also asking for patience as well. It can indicate a crossroads. Challenged by loss. Okay, so it's not necessarily a given that Pence would do this. He wants a new start, the Fool card, but Pence would also be the Fool. In the past, we've got a surprise, but it's in the past. It's an offering. The 9 of Wands. Yeah, you know, Trump might have all these plans, but he's no longer the president, and people have to go on post-Trump. So it's not a given. In the immediate future, we've got the 6 of Wands, which is a victory there. This is in relation to a pardon. We've got secrets being kept. We don't know what's in that book or that agreement. The Page of Swords, the truth emerging. There's something around a pardon, that there's some kind of truth that will be revealed about this. The hopes and the fears, he's very, very concerned about what might happen if he doesn't get that pardon. The 8 of Cups, loss, walking away. That's the card that I always saw for Trump, and I assumed that that would be him resigning and walking away. The 5 of Wands, this partisanship, but it's also obstacles and challenges. And then the 6 of Swords, him going. So what I see from this read is that he will go, but he's very, very, he's lost, and he's like this. And the 8 of Cups talking about moving on. from this, Pence, he might ask Pence to pardon him, but I don't think it's an actual given. For some reason, he's leaving in loss. He's leaving, cloaked in loss. What do we got at the base of the pack? The Sun card, illumination. We have restriction, and we have the Ace of Wands, a new start. I don't know what's going on with Pence. I'll do that in a separate reading. But I don't think it's a given that Pence will actually make that pardon. I don't know. I just see Trump leaving at this point in time. I just see him going cloaked in loss. They aren't good cards. So, yeah, something else is, Anyway, I'm just going to deal with the next 2 weeks. Let's not get too far ahead. I don't see him necessarily staying to the inauguration. That's what I'm feeling. I feel that we'll wake up one day and he'll be in Mar-a-Lago. We'll find out that he's no longer in the White House. Okay, all right, so he leaves in loss. He's definitely going. All right, now let's move to Biden in the next 2 weeks, doing the best that he can. He's got some great staff around, trying to make headway with the pandemic in the US. I think one of the only leaders that hasn't congratulated Biden is Putin, and we know why. When I talk about something great being accomplished, we know what Trump is like. What a danger. Imagine him trying to start a war with Iran. What a danger he is, clear and present danger he is to this world. Something great happened in defeating him, because I do feel that there will be some anomalies coming up later on down the track, particularly in those big states, Florida and Texas. All right, let's have a look at Biden over the next 2 weeks. Joe Biden, let me just tune into his energy. Yeah, okay, so he's carrying the Ace of Wands, and which means that he's fired up, his team's fired up, they're ready to go. But I'm also seeing the Ace of Swords there. I'm feeling like somebody is coming to him and telling him something. The other alternative or option or scenario with Trump is that he will be forced out because he is such a danger. And that would mean the Republican senators would need to go to him. It's not going to go all his way, is what I'm feeling. Okay, so let's have a look at Biden. Joe Biden. Show me the next 2 weeks for Joe Biden. He's putting barriers up in some way. He's doing things that he has the power to do as president-elect, to put barriers up. And as I said that, I pulled the King of Pentacles. There's two things there. He is very focused on Trump being a clear and present danger to the US, but he's also focused on the business, the economy, relief, bringing relief there, kick-starting the economy. This is Trump. His focus is on Trump and Trump leaving. So here we have the Six of Swords, and it could be even that, I don't know what's going on, but they are all focused on Trump, getting Trump out. The Knight of Swords. Okay, here is the sword here. Some kind of truth emerging. Noticing that eagle is flying above this Knight of Swords. Freedom from tyranny. Trying to get rid of the dangerous autocrat that's occupying the Oval Office at this time. They are working hard on that with the Eight of Pentacles. He's surrounding himself in this time with very, very capable, good people. Power is transferring from Trump to Biden. And Biden is very much focused on the economy and bringing forward truth as well, and getting rid of Trump. The High Priestess. Okay, so there is something here that is yet to be revealed. I'll bring the laptop down. There is something that's yet to be revealed. The High Priestess, he's hearing things. He's hearing things every day that cause him to worry. The Six of Wands, he's going to be victorious in getting rid of Trump. So that's really good. Whatever Biden and his team are doing in relation to Trump, it's a winner. The Four of Pentacles in the here and now, information being held back. You know what I feel? I'm feeling that the Biden and his camp are hearing things that Trump has done that we may not necessarily know. He's standing in his power. He's not moving. He's holding those pentacles close to his chest. The voter has given him the power. The Knight of Pentacles in the hopes and fears. He wants to get going, but it's slow. It's slow. It's, that Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the pack. But nevertheless, it's the most reliable knight in the pack. Something here, this is, I'm just getting a draw to this is the secrets that Trump, that there's a betrayal, a loss and a betrayal here, but I feel it's in relation to what he's heard. Okay, so that's the clarifying card, illumination of the betrayal and the secrets that have been kept and the abuse of power. He's hearing, my intuition was right, he's hearing things that Trump has done, and they are far worse than what anybody imagined. This is all about moving on from what will go down as one of the most lawless presidencies ever. And there's a focus on the truth, but I feel that the truth, some of the truth, will even be too much to release. Things, what Trump has done has been worse than what anybody could imagine. This is treason. He's worried also about the pandemic. He wants to get in there and change that. He wants to change that. Things are a lot worse than what I think people imagined. All right, so how is all this going to play out? Ultimately, will Biden be allowed to transition? Will he be able? Will they allow him? Yeah, I feel that the situation is quite grave. He needs to be able to move into that transition here. I feel that some of those senators, Republican senators, will ultimately have to go to Trump and talk him out of there. Someone will have to, because it's quite perilous. But Trump is being thwarted, so there's still that barrier between him and whatever he thinks he can do. All right, so will Biden be able to go into those transitional processes officially? He's doing it. He's doing it still, but will he be given the keys, if you like, to transition, for that transition of power to happen? Okay, so people coming together, I feel, ultimately. Two of Cups and the Page of Pentacles suggests something starts. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard at this time. and he is being restricted, and that restriction is actually costing him in relation to the pandemic. But we see Trump again, the Ten of Pentacles. I feel that big business is going to Biden as well and talking about, what needs to happen. There's a lot more pressure on Trump to concede and get out of the way than what you think. Queen of Swords underneath the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, Biden himself and his team, Kamala Harris, there is litigation stuff here to get the GSA to release those funds. The partisanship is making it very difficult for him, very difficult for this transition to occur. But I see new starts. Okay, so not too far away from now, the pressure is going to mount on Trump to concede and get out of the way and let the Biden administration transition. This talks about a new start after fear and restriction. Judgment, Five of Pentacles, and the Empress card. So it is around the economy that even the Republicans might start to get jittery, those Republican senators, because their donors are feeling it as well. So more pressure is going to be put on Trump than what we actually know. His power is just not there. As a lame duck president, it's receding daily. And whatever he's wanting to do in relation to burning the house down, it is being monitored. It is being tempered. Okay, that's the reading for today. Thank you for tuning in. And I want to take a look at the 18th of November when we've got that stellium in that 6th house and see what all of that is about. That will be one of my future readings. But thank you again for your support, and I'll be back again for another reading soon. Thank you.